Me, Lori Stansel, Saturday Live with Lori. But wait, it's not really live, is it? It's a recording. I'm sorry. I have something going on around the same time that I do the live video, so I could not go live this week. But I didn't want to leave you hanging, and so I decided to record a quick video to share our topic with you, and hopefully it will be a blessing. Don't forget to follow me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/A Good Life with Lori. You can get connected to me. You can also join our group and be a part of our group discussion where we continue the conversation the following week. You can also sign up and be a part of my online community where you can get firsthand access to things that I'm doing before I let the public know. You can get access to discounts and tips and all kinds of fun things that I don't generally publish on my Facebook page. So be sure to sign up to be a part of my email list and part of my online community. Let me ask you a question. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? How bad do you want good health? How bad do you want your degree? How bad do you want to lose weight? How about this? How bad do you want a peaceful home? You know, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we can say whatever we want to whomever we want. But if we're going to be honest with ourselves, we do what we want to do and we do what we have to do. But I want to challenge you in this video to think about doing what you need to do. Need to do. When I say need to do, I'm talking about the need that you have in you to be more, to do more, to experience more. The need that is connected to your purpose, why you're here, why you exist. You know, even if your conception wasn't planned, even if you were a surprise, you still have a purpose to fulfill. I believe that our life was in God, our destiny, our purpose, our assignment was in God, and then He created us. He formed us and fashioned us and placed that deep yearning in us for us to discover and then to live out. So I want to challenge you. What do you want to do? Instead of thinking about what you want to do or what you have to do, think about what you need to do. And how bad do you want to do it? Because there's an excuse. Something always is going to come up. But if you want something bad enough, or if you need something bad enough, you'll get it done. You'll sacrifice. You'll do whatever you have to do to get it done. You know, that's what I experienced when I decided long time ago in my 30s that I wanted to get my graduate degree. There was an opportunity that came for me to get it, and I missed that window because I had all these excuses. And they were valid excuses, because there is a difference between an excuse that is valid and an excuse that you were hiding behind. In that season in my life, I did have a lot of excuses, but I also had obligations, and I knew that even though the door had opened up, I wanted to make sure that my family was in agreement, I had their blessing, and that they would be able to support me in this process. Because remember, when you're a part of a family, it's not about you. Okay, so that type of excuse is a little different. But what I'm talking about is those excuses that we keep making. And so I missed that opportunity. The door closed. But instead of being persistent, right, and getting my degree, I then let it become one of those excuses where I became complacent. And then one day I woke up and I was 40 years old. And I looked around and I said, oh my goodness, I don't have my degree. And this is something that I wanted to do. It was something that was in my heart to do. And so I realized at that point I was going to do it. I wasn't going to find an excuse. I wasn't going to hide behind anything. I was going to get it done. And I made a sacrifice. And that's another thing. When you really want to do something or you really need to do something, you're going to sacrifice to get that thing done. And so I really scaled back in my speaking and coaching and traveling. In fact, I would say about 80%. I had completely stopped coaching. I did only maybe 2 or 3 speaking engagements. I stopped traveling. I decided that I wanted to take 2 years out of my life to focus and get my degree. Now you're thinking, well, why in the world did you stop doing all of that? You could have gotten your degree and did all those things. Yes, I could have. But I had another goal too. My other goal was, I made a promise to myself, was that when I went back to school for my graduate degree, that I would do the best I could do. I would excel in all of my courses and I would get the best grade I could get. Because my undergrad degree, I did okay. But I certainly didn't push myself like I could have. And I didn't understand the value of meeting those academic goals. I didn't appreciate it at the time. And so I always in my mind knew I could have done better. You know how you just have that nagging feeling like, you know what? I could have did better if I applied to myself more. I knew that I had not maximized my intellectual potential. And so I made a promise to myself that when the day came for me to go back to school, I would put my whole heart, soul, and mind into it. And that was why I made the decision to scale back the things that I was doing professionally, because I was still working a full-time job. So it's a lot to do, right? And I met that goal. I got all A's in all of my classes. I graduated with a 3.94 GPA. I was astonished and so proud of myself. And I could be an example to my daughter as well, that you can reach your highest potentials if you apply yourself. Now, the plan was that I was going to take 2 years out, do this, and then resume and relaunch all of my other things that I was doing. But about 3/4 of the way through, I noticed that the time that I was taking to do my coursework, work on my capstone, work on my thesis, that my family was under a tremendous amount of stress. I could see the strain. And wisdom said to me, you need to focus on your family when you finish and not on your profession. So I had a delay. Now, in that period where I was reconnected with my family and reestablishing my role in the family unit, because again, I had kind of pulled away from a lot of different things, and it was for a season, but that season was over, and so I had to reintegrate back into the larger community. I had to kind of get my head out of a book and put it back into the real world. Now, I did that. It was great, but then you know what happened? I used that as my excuse not to do what I had set in my heart that I was going to do, and that was to relaunch my business, my speaking, my humanitarian work, my philanthropic work, all of those things that I was doing, the collaborations, the partnerships, and projects, all of these great things that I was passionate about. I had become complacent. So I had to ask myself that question: how bad do you want it? Interesting though, I didn't ask myself that question until something hit me. Something happened, life happened, something unexpected occurred. And I found myself kind of in a moment of just exasperation saying, oh, you know? And that's when I asked myself, what am I doing? Am I supposed to be doing this? How did I get off track? What happened? In that moment of questioning, I realized that I had lost that hunger, that fire, that drive to do what I was purposed by God to do. And let me ask you that question. Have you lost that fire? Have you lost that desire, that hunger to do what you know God has purposed in you to do? Have you let delays become excuses? Have you let a temporary season become a permanent position? How bad do you want it? Because at the end of the day, like I said in the beginning, we do what we want to do. We do what we need to do. We do what we want to do. We do what we have to do. But do we do what we need? What is essential to our purpose? Do we do that? Or do we push that off for another time, for another season? Time, again, I said it before, time is a precious commodity, and it's one of the few things that we cannot get back once it's expended. Once a day is gone, once a 24-hour period is gone, it's gone, people. So what do you want to do, and how bad do you want to do it? Are you willing to do what you have to do, sacrifice to do what you have to do to get what you want? Growing up, I used to love, and I still do, I used to love Wonder Woman. Lynda Carter to me was just amazing. I mean, I just thought the whole concept of Wonder Woman was incredible to me as a young girl growing into womanhood. In fact, every Halloween, if I had my way, every Halloween, I would be Wonder Woman. Every Halloween. In fact, I have a picture of myself in this really ugly Wonder Woman costume. I have to find it and post it for you guys. It's so funny. It's a cute photo. I had to have been like 6 or 7 years old, and I had this Wonder Woman mask on. It was just so cute. But what I love about Wonder Woman was that that character came into existence during a time where women did not have the rights or the respect that they have today. And some may argue with me saying, well, we still don't have respect. But trust me when I tell you, it's a lot better today than it was then. But it didn't stop her from being a superhero, a role model, a mentor. She was able to, even in a time and a season where she was not supported in her strength and in her ability to stand equal with a man, she was still able to navigate that environment and still produce incredible outcomes and realize her purpose. And part of it was how she was raised, how she was reared and brought up. But to me, that served as a motivating factor, because we can do that today. How much more can we do? I mean, think about it for just a second. Anything that you don't know, anything that you need to know, you can access literally by just swiping your phone. Your phone, the phone that I'm using to record this on, is literally a miniature computer. You know, growing up, if we wanted to learn something, we had to set aside hours, go to the library, pull out books, encyclopedias, take them out, go home. It was tedious just to gather information before even writing. Just gathering it was tedious. And, heaven help you if someone got to the book before you did and there was only one book on that subject. You were up the creek without a paddle, okay? Now, information is right there before you. You have no excuse. You are your largest obstacle. You are your greatest hindrance. How bad do you want it? Are you willing to do what you have to do to get what you need to get in this season? You might be saying, I don't know what to do, Lori. What do I do? Do the first thing that comes to you. Do that first thing that's easiest to do. Maybe that first step is just, learning how to navigate Facebook. Maybe that first step is researching your demographics or determining what your demographics is. Maybe that first step is volunteering at a hospital or volunteering at a nonprofit organization that is doing something that you love, or volunteering at your church. Do something. Stop letting life be your excuse, because there will never be a perfect time. Now, there are seasons where you are to work, sow, plant, harvest, reap. I'm not talking about that. That fits into what you're doing. What I'm talking about is that person that's not doing anything. They're not sowing, they're not reaping, they're not planting, they're not plucking up, they're not doing anything. They're letting life overwhelm them, and they're using life as an excuse to hide behind. If that's you, I'm going to challenge you today. In fact, I'm going to say something that might upset you. If that's you, then you don't want it bad enough. I don't want to hear it. Nope. Don't send me an email. Do not private message me. I don't want to hear it. You don't want it bad enough. I have been living long enough, and I've done things long enough, and I've coached and spoken, and I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I know and I've learned human nature, and I'm learning human nature. And one thing I know without a shadow of a doubt, we do what we want to do. We do what we have to do, but what we need to do, that thing that's connected to our purpose, oftentimes we push that aside. You know, people spend hundreds of dollars going on vacations, buying beautiful shirts and jewelry and clothes. Wonderful things if that's what you want to spend your money on. But then when it comes to investing in yourself, I don't have it. I can't afford it. I don't know. Why aren't you just as important? Why isn't your destiny, your future just as important as that pocketbook? What is that pocketbook doing for you that an investment in your future cannot? Think about it that way. Sow towards your future, because everything you do today will produce outcomes in the life that you live and experience tomorrow. How bad do you want it? Are you willing to work? Are you willing to make the sacrifice? Are you willing to say, I'm going to do this? I don't care if I have to spend 3 weeks staying up, getting 3 hours of sleep. I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm in this season that I'm in to get the outcomes that I want. I'm tired of watching life pass me by. And I'm not going to let my circumstances be an excuse. I'm going to have a sword in one hand to fight, and I'm going to have a pen in the other hand to write and to plan. I'm going to get it done. How bad do you want it? It's time to work, people. Listen, follow me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/The Good Life with Lori. Join my group. We're going to talk about this a little bit further. We're going to dig into this. We're going to ignite ourselves on fire so that we can do those things that we need to do that's connected to our purpose. And be sure to join me again back here next Saturday on Saturday Live. Talk to you soon. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.